Alright, what's happening, y'all? After that performance from Taylor Heinicke and Dwayne Haskins not only getting benched, but released this morning, I had to do a film session. Now, this will be more so me looking at all of his passing plays and just reacting to him, because this is going to be my first time actually watching the all 22 footage. This is going to be my first time seeing anything he's done since I saw it live last night. But we're definitely going to look at every individual passing play he had. So this film session may run a little long. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see when we get there. But as always, man, before we get there, just got to show a couple of stats. First of all, Taylor Heinicke's 82 overall grade yesterday was the highest grade of any Washington QB in 2020. Period. Now again, with Pro Football Focus, you have to take everything they say with a grain of salt, especially when it comes to grades and rankings. But at the end of the day, for him to have the highest grade means he at least played well. And he's done things that no other QB playing for us this season have done. And we're going to see some of that and talk about it soon. But one more stat. Now this is pretty much actual factuals. Taylor Heinicke's 102.3 passer rating last night was the second highest for a Washington quarterback this season, period, with at least a minimum of 19 attempts. So that's crazy. That's ridiculous. It should have been way higher. He actually played better than that. There were just a lot of drops. If those drops in the touchdown from Cam Sims, that one penalty on that Logan Thomas touchdown, and we're going to look at all of this a little later, his passer rating would have been even higher. So that was arguably, and in my opinion, the best one quarter of quarterback play we've seen from anybody at quarterback for the Burgundy and Gold this season, this 2020 season. In my opinion, easily the best one quarter of football. Because even though Alex Smith has been winning games, it's been mostly the defense and the running game. Alex Smith hasn't played well in first halves, and we have to make these miracle second half comebacks. Dwayne Haskins has been terrible. Kyle Allen was hit or miss. Great highlights, and then also throw the game away. If the receivers weren't just dropping passes and easy touchdown catches that Taylor Heinicke was making difficult throws to get it to him, probably would have won this game. So let's go ahead and get into the film session. First play, 1st and 10, fourth quarter. This is when he first got in there, down 20-6. Shotgun. 4 wide receivers out, 1 running back. Back. Nice little accurate short throw. Okay. And I don't like this stigma that a lot of people think that the Panthers were in prevent defense when Taylor Heinicke came into the game. Even though I'm a draft a QB, high in the draft, trade up, whatever you got to do, guy. That's me, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, whoever. We're not going to disrespect Taylor Heinicke and act like he didn't go against an honest defense. This is not prevent defense. They have a deep single high safety on the back end, and it's a lot of zone underneath, and he was just able to find open receivers and actually hit them. I mean, everybody knows that infamous 4th and 2 play with Dwayne Haskins where Cam Sims was wide open. Taylor Heinicke did not make those same mistakes as Haskins. As far as mechanics go, nothing too special, just nice, crisp sound mechanics. Nice little about a 5-step drop and delivers it accurately right to the chest. But again, this is not prevent defense. This is an honest defense that he's going against. So he's not just picking up garbage time yards. This is an honest defense that they're trying to keep everything in front of them at all costs. But it's not like they just have 3 safeties back and everybody just back waiting and giving him everything. This play was a little given, but that is not the narrative of this whole time he was in the game. All right, next play, 2nd and 2. 4 eligible receivers again, with the running back going into the flat. And another drop pass. This time it was AGG. Right on the money. You got to catch those. Good throw by Taylor Heinicke. Let's see it from the other angle. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and a running back in the flat. Delivers the ball right where it needs to be. Again, nice sound mechanics. Steps into the throw, which allows him to deliver a nice accurate ball with touch on it over the linebacker's head in front of the safety. Should have been caught by AGG. Point blank, period. No excuses there. Should have been a nice little 20, almost 30-yard pass right there that wasn't caught, and it was not Taylor Heinicke's fault. That was on Antonio Gandy Golden completely. But we'll develop Antonio Gandy Golden. He'll get better and he'll get better. He's been injured a lot, so, you know what I'm saying. No excuses, but I'm expecting better out of him in the future. Now, 3rd and 2. I mean, the very next play, these plays are back to back to back. No running the ball. Trips on this side. Doesn't like what he sees and takes off running. That's how you do. I mean, he just needs 2 yards for the first down. He can get 3 or 4. He's not slow. So that was a good play. He looked around, didn't exactly like what he saw. I mean, there were a couple of guys that were kind of open, but I mean, with the front of him that wide open, you got to take those extra yards. Good job of sliding too, not to take any unnecessary hits. Good play. Now 1st and 10. Again, the very next play. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and a running back again. 5-step drop, scanning the field. Delivers it for a short gain, allows his player to get some yards after the catch, trusting his receivers. Decent throw, decent throw. Not an amazing play, but the play that should have been made. And when you slow it down and look at where all the receivers are and as far as coverages go, there was really nowhere to throw the ball. First of all, I don't know if this is the receiver's fault or if this is just a Scott Turner thing, because this happens consistently. Why are there 2 receivers in the same area so much, so deep into a play? This is already 4 or 5 seconds into the play and they're both in the same spot. All of this field and we have 2 receivers right here. I mean, granted, this guy's coming over, but there's no way to deliver that ball in there. Taylor Heinicke makes the smart play of delivering it underneath and letting this guy make a play yards after catch, juking somebody out of his socks. Lord have mercy. But yeah, Scott Turner, this 30 yards down the field almost, 2 receivers in the exact same spot. I mean, technically a tight end and receiver, but basically 2 receivers, 2 eligible receivers, 2 receiving targets in the same place makes it too easy for the defense to cover you. They just have to cover this spot. It could technically only need 1 guy to cover this, really. But with their zone, they technically have 3 guys in the area, almost a 4th to cover 2 guys that are in the same spot. It's overkill at that point for the defense, but there's no way Taylor Heinicke can throw the ball here. There's no way he can throw the ball here. He takes what the defense gives him, picks up a couple of yards, and keeps it pushing. Sometimes you just got to take what the defense gives you. It's that simple. Again, the very next play, not running the ball. Per usual, 2 receivers, tight end with Logan Thomas, and a running back. Good blitz pickup by the running back there. Was that J.D. McKissick? I'm sorry. It wasn't great, but he did enough for Taylor Heinicke to deliver the ball, and that was a great thrown ball. That was very well thrown. That was a pretty decent blitz pickup. I mean, he got in the way long enough for Taylor Heinicke to throw this ball, and that's a nice solid throw. He wasn't able to step into it fully because he could feel the pressure coming. He already knew. So it wasn't completely off of his back foot, but he did not step into this throw like he did his previous ones. But either way, on a zip, straight to the open receiver. Great throw. Way to find that little pocket within the zone, the little weakness in the zone. You know where your receiver's going to be. Great throw. Good gain. So this is J.D. McKissick with the blitz pickup. Again, not great, but got in the way long enough. And Taylor Heinicke, oh, I didn't even see it from this angle. Hold on. Look at the touch on this ball. Right outside the hands of the linebacker, in front of the safety above him or corner, whoever that is, right into the pocket where it needed to be. Great throw. Great throw. Excellent throw. I'm completely convinced that if he would have came in at the start of the 3rd quarter, we would have won this game. And even besides that, with him just coming into the 4th quarter, if receivers weren't dropping touchdown passes or random penalties weren't happening, we probably would have won this game. Again, I'm the guy that wants Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Zach Wilson, but facts are facts. We would have won this game if either Taylor would have started at halftime or if receivers just weren't letting them down. Now, the very next play again, 1st and 10 on the Panthers 42-yard line. Per usual, slightly different formation, but again, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and a running back. Ooh, J.D. McKissick got ran over, but again, at least he got in the way. And that was a great ball from Taylor Heinicke. I'm sorry, I was paying attention to the running backs again because I'm just looking at how this blitz pickup is looking. And, I mean, J.D. McKissick is doing enough to get in the way, but it's just not a great block. He's out here getting ran over. But Taylor Heinicke has to know that this pressure is coming. I mean, especially since the previous play, the way J.D. McKissick got ran over. This time it happens again. So Taylor Heinicke is aware of this and is not able to step into his throws like he wants to, but he still delivers a perfect ball, which should have been caught. That should have been caught. Cam Sims, you folded right there, man. You folded. But again, J.D. McKissick, I don't know why we don't have Antonio Gibson in the games at this point. He's improved in pass blocking, and he's way stronger than J.D. McKissick, so I don't think he would be getting ran over like this, but it's whatever. Give him a good enough time. He wasn't able to step into his throw like he wanted to, but perfect ball still thrown. Perfect ball. Again, he wasn't even able to step into this throw fully like he did previously, like the first couple of plays, and he still delivers this ball perfectly. I mean, look at it. I'm tracking it for y'all. I'm tracking it for y'all with the mouse. Right over the DBs, and it right to where it needed to be. You got to catch that. I mean, you had to dive for it a little bit, but that's still a very catchable ball. That's exactly where you want it. If everybody's underneath, throw it over everybody's head where only the receiver can get it. That has to be caught. That has to be caught. The DBs, they're not even celebrating because they know they didn't do their job. That was just a mishap on the receiver's part. Again, very next play, 2nd and 10. Instead, this time 4 receivers and a tight end, no running back, 5 wide. And now that was just a bad decision right there. That was not a good decision. That was one of his worst throws of the night, if not the worst. He threw that right into double coverage, right to a defender. That wasn't a smart play. First of all, it was overthrown for Steven Sims. I mean, I know he's relatively open, but you got to throw it sooner if you're going to throw this, and you can't overthrow it like that. You just can't. That was a bad decision, and it was also inaccurate. Again, I see what he sees because Steven Sims is technically open, but it was just a major overthrow. Major overthrow right there. And I just don't like the decision to throw it into triple coverage unless you're really, really accurate and you throw it sooner. You have to throw this sooner. Steven Sims only gets less and less open as time passes. This would have been an easier throw if he would have released it sooner. But again, this is chemistry. If he would have been getting first team reps throughout practice, throughout this week before the game, he probably would have had the right chemistry and would have known to throw this ball sooner. So, I mean, this is still good QB play on the fly. This is a bad play. But again, this is all chemistry issues that can be worked out with just a simple week of practice. And again, if he throws this sooner, if he throws it more accurate, this is another big gain. Again, I don't like the decision to throw it in an almost triple coverage, but you can get away with it if you're accurate or you throw it sooner. 3rd and 10, again, the very next play. Back to the 3 receivers, tight end, and a running back. Different formation, but still. Nice little dump off play call from Scott Turner. The way that ball was released so early, you could tell this was just a drawn up play by Scott Turner. Get it to J.D. McKissick in the flat. This was a design good play to pick up some yards. On my fault, this is Antonio Gibson on this play. That's my fault. But still, design underneath throw to Antonio Gibson and allow him to pick up the first down. He didn't, but I'm not mad at that play call. Every receiver running the route was basically a distraction. Taylor didn't even look at the other guys. You can tell this was a design play call by Scott Turner. Don't even look at anybody else. Just throw it to Antonio Gibson. He's going to be open. Now it's 4th and 3, and we're going for it. Again, the very next play. 3 receivers, tight end, and a running back. And I like this play call. I really like this play call by Scott Turner. It wasn't a great play calling game for him overall, but this is a good play call. Use the slot receiver to distract everybody and bring the other receiver underneath with them playing such off man or whatever zone they're running. And that way, only 4th and 3, you only need 3 yards. So have the receiver run about 4 or 5 and he's wide open with them running off man and the slot receiver distracting all of the linebackers and that safety back here. I mean, you can tell this is a design play call by Scott Turner because, again, Taylor doesn't even progress through his reads. He doesn't even look at anybody else. As soon as the ball is hiked, he is looking straight at this receiver out here because he already knows pre-play that this guy's going to be open based on Scott Turner's play call. He trusts it. Doesn't have the cleanest pocket to step into, but it's good enough for him to deliver this throw. Again, not able to step into his throw. Not necessarily off his back foot either, but just a nice, decent throw. Zip on the ball to get to him immediately. And it's a first down. Easy little pickup right there. Good, accurate throw right where it needs to be for the receiver to catch it. Simple first down. And thank you, Cam Sims, for actually catching that one. Again, the very next play, 1st and 10, ball on the 27. I mean, this game is literally in Taylor's hands. I mean, this has just been play to play to play. No run plays mixed in. And I like that little crossing route there. I mean, it didn't really confuse any defenders, but they just were basically in more of a prevent defense that play a little bit. They allowed anything underneath, and Taylor took what the defense was giving them. Now, Wes Schweitzer got beat on this play, but Taylor Heinicke did a good job of getting this ball out of his hands quickly. He could sense that pressure and was able to just get the ball out. Again, it just looks like the Panthers are doing everything they can to keep everything in front of them. So this is wide open. This is an easy read. He could have thrown it to either of these guys, but still a good job to get it out of his hands soon enough to where that pressure doesn't get to him. And it's a nice little pickup right there. Now the very next play again. Again, no run plays. This is all Taylor Heinicke going from deep within his side of the field to deep within the Panthers side of the field. All the same drive, back-to-back plays. Nice little dump off to J.D. McKissic. Nothing else is there. Good dump off to pick up some yards. And let me just analyze it just in case to see if any other receiver may have been open. Again, I'm not going to be mad if another receiver is open because that's a good dump off to J.D. McKissic. This is a very Alex Smith-like play to just take what the defense is giving you. But as of right now, I mean, again, two receivers are too close to each other. This guy's super hemmed up. He wouldn't have been open. The only reason that safety left him because the ball was already out of the hands of Taylor Heinicke. So Logan Thomas is not open right here. This receiver is definitely not open, well covered. It's a lot going on. So take what the defense gives you. Nobody else is really open. The only guy that was kind of open may have been Steven Sims right here, but you have to deliver this ball as soon as possible. And that's also trusting that the DB doesn't make a play on it. And I just don't trust that. I think the best decision here was definitely to give it to J.D. McKissic. Very Alex Smith-like play to take what the defense is giving you on this play. And if you look at him, he's looking this way. He's progressing through his reads. He's looking around. He knows he has J.D. McKissic underneath, sees he doesn't like anything else, and gives it to J.D. McKissic. Or this could have been on purpose to move the linebackers back. He may have been looking this way to make the linebackers shift this way so that he would have J.D. McKissic open over here. That could also be a thing. Again, I'm not in the huddle to know for sure. I'm not in the coach's meeting room, the film session room to know for sure, but that could be a possibility. Either way, I like the fact that he's looking around the field, either to progress through his reads and or to move the linebackers and the safeties away from where he truly wants to go, which was J.D. McKissic underneath to get some yards. 1st and 10, the very next play again. 3 receivers, a tight end and a running back per usual out of shotgun. And nice delivery, quick, easy throw to Logan Thomas, wide open. And I like the fact that he pretty much had an assumption pre-snap that Logan Thomas would be open. So he looks to the left a little bit just to look at that receiver. And then he comes back to Logan Thomas, who he knows will be open underneath, and delivers it immediately before this defender can step up and make a play on it. And that's a very nice gain on 1st down. Again, Taylor Heinicke looks this way, but again, I think it's just to move the defenders, honestly. I think he's looking this way just to move the defenders away from who he truly wants to go to, Logan Thomas. Because that wasn't long enough to truly see if this receiver even had a chance of being open like that. He's already looking at Logan Thomas already. So he didn't even allow that route to really develop. Again, I think he's looking one way to move the defenders that way. I'm guessing Scott Turner and Ron Rivera noticed that the Panthers defenders react to where the QB's eyes are looking, and I think that was part of their game plan because he looks that way to move these guys over a little bit to make this guy hesitate, and that allows Logan Thomas to be open. Great play. I don't know whose decision this is. I don't know if it's purely on Taylor Heinicke's part. I believe it's a game plan by Scott Turner. But either way, good play by Taylor Heinicke to actually execute the play. To look over and make this believable, to move the defenders, and then to be able to deliver the ball quickly right to Logan Thomas's chest for an easy catch and a nice game. I mean, this ball is just moving up the field. Just moving. Fast paced. Now 2nd and 1, ball on the 5-yard line, deep into the red zone. Per usual, 3 receivers, tight end, and a running back. And I like the way he's progressing through his reads right here, but he slips, which is inexcusable in itself. But if you look at his head, again, you can tell where his eyes are. You can see him progressing through his reads. I mean, he's looking anywhere for an open receiver. And I like the fact that he doesn't force this. I like the fact that he didn't force it. Because let's look at the coverage from the all-22 film view again. Covered, may get open if you deliver the ball correctly, but at that point he's moving around in the pocket. He sees him, but he trips. And again, everybody else is hemmed up and covered very well. Everybody's accounted for, so it was really nothing he can do here. He was probably going to end up getting sacked anyway if he couldn't escape the pocket and run on his own. That was a nasty trip, inexcusable, not a good play. But the silver lining on this play is that he was progressing through his reads and he didn't force anything. He's looking this way, looks all the way out there, looks here, doesn't see it, doesn't like anything right here. Again, 2 receivers in the same spot, so I don't know why we keep doing that. I guess you can consider that a crossing route. Now he's looking there, looks there, starts to look out there, but trips. So, I mean, Better pass blocking from the offensive line could have helped, but at the same time, you can't trip like that. But again, silver lining, he's progressing through his reads and not forcing anything. And you can see how upset he is because he thought he had somebody open. Just tripped and failed, man. Lost opportunity right there. Now 3rd and 8, right after that play. Again, the game is in Taylor Heinicke's hands, not running the ball. Again, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. And I'm not sure if this is a throwaway, which I'm not mad at, just don't force anything, or if he just thought the receiver was actually going to the corner of the end zone. I don't know. And I also like how Scott Turner knows that this guy hasn't had a week of first team reps with the team, so there's always a dump down option just in case. But I like the fact that he got rid of this ball because nobody's open. Again, look at it in slow motion. 2 receivers in the same spot again. Just takes 3 defenders to cover him. This guy's double teamed. This guy's covered very well. And, I mean, he could have dumped it off to J.D. McKissick, but I'm not mad at just throwing it away to live another down. And when you search Taylor Heinicke, this play doesn't show up, but I remember this play, so I had to go all the way back to the Washington football team actual film, like they're filmed together. And this was a great play by Taylor Heinicke. Moving in the pocket, extending the play with his legs, keeping his head up, looking for the open receiver, and finding Logan Thomas open at the last second with coverage around him. That was a confident throw. Logan Thomas was not wide open here. First of all, again, movement in the pocket, feeling the pressure, moving, using his legs, and he's running this way, looking this way, so of course defenders are moving this way. He knows that. As he's moving this way, you see defenders shifting over. He knows that. He looks back, has Logan Thomas open with pressure in his face, and delivers a beautiful ball off his back foot right to Logan Thomas's chest stomach area. And that should have been a touchdown, but it was a holding on Wes Schweitzer, so this play was null and void. But I had to acknowledge this play because this play technically isn't in Taylor Heinicke's film session, all 22 film, because this play was resulted in a penalty, so it doesn't count. So I had to go to the Washington football team film session overall for the entire game between the Burgundy and Gold and the Panthers, and I had to dig up this play because y'all had to see how great this play was. This play should not be forgotten. It definitely needs to be acknowledged. This may be my favorite play from him all game because he showed legs, he showed confidence, he showed the ability to move in the pocket, he showed the ability to feel pressure, he showed the ability to throw off his back foot and deliver a great ball, he showed confidence. I mean, you got to be a confident guy. I mean, even without a week of practice with the ones, you have to be a really confident guy to throw a ball like this with the way the coverage is set up. This can be very confusing for a quarterback that hasn't started many games. He actually hasn't started one game in his NFL career. I mean, he's played preseason games, but I don't believe he's played any regular season games. So this is a great veteran play from him. And again, the fact that he ran to the left, looked to the left, made defenders believe he was going left, and then went back to his right, knowing they would be open because the defenders shifted based on what he was doing. I mean, this is a truly great veteran play. This isn't necessarily a touchdown, should have been, but this may be my favorite play from him all game, honestly. He showed so many good quality traits in this one play. Should have been a touchdown, but Wes Schweitzer folded. And I'm disappointed in Wes Schweitzer for that, but like, he's been having a great season, so it happens sometimes. And for this play, I don't like this play. I mean, again, nice movement in the pocket, great pass blocking, but that's just a jump ball. If you're going to throw that, I know you have Antonio Gandy-Golden who's taller, so you want that mismatch, but you got to at least throw it higher. You have to throw it higher or throw it sooner. Because at one point in time, if you throw it like right about now, but again, this takes trust in your receivers, this takes chemistry. If you throw it like right now, you may be able to hit them. Because you may be able to hit the corner of the end zone. This corner had his momentum moving that way. You may have gotten him, but you threw it late and you underthrew it. So I don't like this play. Good job by Antonio Gandy-Golden to not allow this to be an interception. Bad play by Taylor Heinicke. But I do like the fact that he's taking risks. I mean, we're down 20-6. It is kind of like, hey man, you got to make a play. You got to do something. Field goals are not going to cut it at this point. So I'm not too mad at it. Now that I'm looking at it from this angle, great play by Antonio Gandy-Golden to break up this pass. Because this was definitely an interception. That DB had that. That was an easy interception for him if Antonio Gandy-Golden didn't interrupt that. So that's your best play of the day, Antonio Gandy-Golden, honestly. That was a bad throw by Taylor Heinicke. A lot of highs, but some lows. Wasn't a perfect game, honestly. And now 1st and 10, ball on his own 9-yard line. The typical 3 receiver, 1 tight end, and a running back. 5-step drop. And nice delivery to the receiver, allowing them to use his yards after catch. And this is great timing on this route. I mean, he threw this exactly when it needed to be thrown, right at the perfect time while Steven Sims is breaking off. Steven Sims has been a big letdown this season, but his speed and his route running still can get him open, and Taylor Heinicke delivered this perfectly when it needed to be delivered, right on target at the right time. Again, let me show y'all from this angle. Steven Sims is running up, and as soon as he's about to break on his route, as soon as he plants his feet into the ground, Taylor Heinicke releases it. DBs don't have enough time to react. Deliver it right to Steven Sims' chest, and then Steven Sims does the rest with his yards after catch. That's what he was supposed to be. This is what he was supposed to do every game all season. He hasn't been doing it. You may be able to blame Alex Smith. You may be able to blame Dwayne Haskins, but at the end of the day, it's been on Steven Sims' shoulders, and Taylor Heinicke looks to be getting the best out of Steven Sims. It seems like Taylor Heinicke looked at Steven Sims this whole time, which is not necessarily good, but I guess he knew based off of the coverage, Scott Turner's play calling, and Steven Sims' route running that he was going to be open before this play even started. And again, as soon as he plants his feet, Taylor Heinicke is throwing the ball. That's when you're supposed to do it. Great throw, nice timing. It's crazy that he's good at things like this without a week of practice with the ones. No chemistry with the receivers at all. That was a great play, great thrown ball, perfectly accurate, nice mechanics in the pocket, all of that, man. Good play by Taylor Heinicke right there. It's a shame we need to be happy about simple plays like that, but I mean, hey, that we just haven't been getting that much this year, and we definitely weren't getting it earlier in this game. Now the very next play, again, game in Taylor Heinicke's hands, not running the ball. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and a running back. Again, shotgun, nice movement in the pocket. Yep, run away, get whatever yards you can. Nice movement. He has some feet to him. He may be the fastest quarterback we've thrown out there this season. I think he is faster than Kyle Allen. He's definitely faster than Alex Smith on one leg, and definitely, even though Dwayne Haskins has looked faster recently, this is faster than Dwayne Haskins can run. And that was a nice little gain right there. And before we crown him for running to get these yards, let's just make sure no receivers were open. Let's make sure he didn't miss anybody. All right, so that was a good job by the linebacker to chip Logan Thomas so he's late on his route. Now, this is open, so you definitely can deliver this, but at this time, he's already looking away. He's not looking this way. I would have preferred for him to throw this ball right here to the receiver on the dig route. But, I mean, he missed them there, and at least he has the legs to get the yards that the receiver probably would have gotten anyway, so I'm not mad at it. But at the end of the day, the receiver was open and he missed them. And it's weird because he never really looked to the right of the field this play. I mean, his head was looking the left the entire time until right here. He saw this receiver. I'm not exactly sure why he didn't deliver it. He's looking right at him, but then he's looking down the field, just past him. I guess maybe he wants the receiver to block. I don't know. He looked dead at him and didn't throw it. I guess he figured I can get this myself. I'm not trusting y'all with the way y'all been dropping passes today. I don't know. I still would have preferred for him to throw that because I don't want to risk my quarterback getting hit when you don't have to, because he would have picked up the same amount of yards as Antonio Gandy Golden would have. But at the end of the day, I mean, hey, running with your legs is safer and more guaranteed for getting those yards than a receiver possibly dropping it like they've been doing this game. Now 2nd and 4, the very next play after Taylor Heinicke ran it himself. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and a running back. Again, per usual. J.D. McKissic out in the flat. And nice ball, confident throw into a not wide open Logan Thomas. Here's a good example of him progressing through his reads. Snaps the ball, is looking left towards those guys, looks right, doesn't like what he sees, then looks back at Logan Thomas in the middle. Confident, accurate throw to Logan Thomas, who's not wide open at all. There's defenders there, but I mean, he has the confidence to throw this ball, and he throws it accurately, and I love it. That's somebody with a winning attitude right there. Confidence. He's not hesitating at all. He sees somebody open, he thinks he can get the ball to him, and he delivers it. And delivers it accurately. Again, just to take a look at the receiver situation going on. 2 receivers almost kind of in the same area again. They may just be distractions for Logan Thomas to get open. This guy's covered. There's somebody underneath. Safety playing over. The only reason the safety's over here at this point, and it looks like he's open, because the ball is already out of the hands, so that doesn't count. So this receiver is done. He's well covered. These guys are well covered. Logan Thomas is basically your only option, but you have to deliver it fast with zip on it and with confidence, and he does so. Any later, that would not have been a good throw. So he delivered that on time when he needed to. And I like how quickly he went through his reads. Remember, Logan Thomas was the 3rd or 4th option that he looked at this play. So the fact that he still got the ball out relatively quickly shows that he does a good job of reading the field and looking for the open receiver. And once he makes a decision, he makes it quickly and delivers the ball immediately and accurately. Now 1st and 10, again, the very next play. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and a running back, per usual. Running back in the flat, had him open if he wanted it, but he wants to take that risk down the field, and I'm not mad at it because that wasn't a really bad ball. Now, it's weird to me, in Scott Turner's point of view, for Logan Thomas, probably the slowest eligible receiver out there on the field, to be the one running the deep route, but maybe he wanted to confuse the defense, and it kind of worked because they expected Logan Thomas to go underneath, so that's why the safety played up, and Logan Thomas was able to run by everybody because they were like, Logan Thomas is slow, he's not going to run past us. The offensive coordinator wouldn't even design that play, but he did, and it worked. Taylor Heinicke just has to deliver that a little bit better, but also it hits Logan Thomas's hands, so Logan Thomas has to catch that. It's a pretty difficult catch to make, honestly, but at the end of the day, it touches your hands, you got to catch it, and I'm not mad at Taylor Heinicke for not taking the underneath route and taking the weakness in the defense. I think, honestly, this is a good play call by Scott Turner because now that I'm looking at it, this was definitely a design throw to Logan Thomas. Taylor Heinicke, who is somebody that progresses through reads, doesn't even look at anybody else this play. He's looking at Logan Thomas this entire play, waiting for the play to develop because he knows the safety's going to play up. Once he does, ball release. Good play by Taylor Heinicke right there, but even better play call by Scott Turner on this play, knowing that nobody expects Logan Thomas to go deep. So the safety just came up and went after J.D. McKissic because the scouting report says that when J.D. McKissic is open underneath, Washington quarterbacks like to throw it underneath to those guys. Taylor Heinicke is like, nah, I like to throw it deep if I can. So you guessed wrong. Logan Thomas is open downfield, and it wasn't a terribly thrown ball, but a little bit more touch would have been better. Again, Logan Thomas is not fast. If this is Terry McLaurin, this is probably a touchdown, but Logan Thomas is not fast enough to catch up to this ball, and also at the same time, it touches your hands, you gotta catch it. That's what you're being paid millions of dollars for. So great play design and play call by Scott Turner. Pretty good throw by Taylor Heinicke. But just overall, the play didn't come up with big results. But I like the potential of that play right there. And again, just look at the mechanics, bro. Look at the mechanics. Very smooth feet, dropping back, and is able to step up into his throw. Great pass protection, too. People keep acting like our offensive line is bad. They have a few mishaps here and there, but our offensive line is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, our offensive line, especially in the second half of games, I don't know why in the second half they block better. In the first half, they were run blocking like a top 5 run blocking offensive line, and in that second half, they started pass blocking very well. 2nd and 10, the very next play, trips on this side, one receiver out there, and a running back, underneath route just in case for Taylor Heinicke, but he doesn't want that route, tries to make the tough throw. Don't necessarily like that because, I mean, you easily had other guys that you could have gone to on that play. For example, a very well thrown ball on time could have gone underneath right here with the crossing route they ran. And then there's a deeper crossing route for some odd reason. I mean, we ran 2 crossing routes with 3 receivers in the same play. One receiver had to cross with 2 other receivers in that play. So I guess Scott Turner's just trying to catch the defense off guard and catch them off their path. But this is just a very complicated route combination on this side with the trips. And then this receiver slips a little bit with the contact. That's what happens sometimes when you run crossing routes. I'm glad they didn't run into each other here, but that definitely slowed down. I believe this is Cam Sims right here. That pass may have been completed if this crossing route wasn't just so sloppy and Cam Sims had to run like an extra yard back just to avoid the receiver. Now the defender has a chance to put hands on him and push him out of bounds. So at the end of the day, I'm not mad at Taylor Heinicke because either he overthrew this. Looking at it from this angle, this is a great throw by Taylor Heinicke, and this would have been caught if it wasn't for the sloppy crossing route that those receivers ran and the defender getting hands on the receiver right here. That was exactly where it should have been, and the receiver should have been closer because he shouldn't have had to run deeper to get around this receiver just to get open. Again, this may be an example of Scott Turner getting a little too cute. I'm not mad at it. I mean, it's a very complicated crossing route. If ran correctly and executed perfectly, this would have been a great gain because that's a very well thrown ball. Maybe a little bit more to the left, but at the end of the day, you want to put it where only the receiver can get it and the defender has no chance of getting it, so I'm not mad at it. And while I'm looking at it, I think this is another design throw. I think Scott Turner told Taylor Heinicke to throw this before the ball was even snapped because you have J.D. McKissic open just in case. But, I mean, Taylor Heinicke doesn't even progress through his reads. He's looking at this route develop the entire time. And again, with somebody I trust like him who's shown that he progresses through reads when asked to, for him not to progress through his reads just lets me know that this was a design play call from Scott Turner to throw it to this receiver off of this second crossing route ran and within the same play on the same side of the field. If it was ran better, if it was executed better, this probably would have been a nice big game. And it's crazy that Scott Turner even trusts a quarterback who didn't even receive first team reps throughout practice, barely practice, to even make a throw like this. I mean, this has to be a well-timed throw. You have to look out when he's throwing this and what's going on currently with the receivers. That's a lot of trust in a quarterback. That's a lot of trust. I don't think I've ever seen Scott Turner even try to trust Dwayne Haskins that much. It may be for good reason. The very next play, and I like this play. These are legs right here. Look at the awareness in the pocket to duck down when that defender is coming. Hold on. Before we even get to the wheels, look at the pocket awareness. Look at the pocket awareness. Morgan Moses got beat this play. I mean, he did decent. Not really. Morgan Moses got beat here. Great awareness by Taylor Heinicke to not only be looking down the field, but feel that a defender is coming for him and maneuver in a way that the defender can't take the ball out of his hand. Most importantly, you see how he brings the ball forward? You see how, as he noticed, or he's not even looking at the defender. He's looking over here, but he feels the defender coming. He shifts the ball forward. Let me look at it from a different angle so y'all can truly see it. I'm not sure if y'all can see it as well as I can. Morgan Moses gets beat. He's not looking at him at all. He feels it, moves the ball out of the way so the defender can't get his hands on it, maneuvers around, and then now you just look at the wheels. Look at the wheels. Still looking down the field to make a play. That's what I love the most. He doesn't just bail on the play and take off running completely. He's still looking down the field to possibly throw it. But look at the wheels, man. I don't think Alex Smith or Dwayne Haskins can make this play. Maybe Kyle Allen can. Maybe he has enough wheels. But this is definitely Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins cannot make this play at this current time in their careers. And let's go back to this angle so you can truly see how fast he was. I love the pocket awareness and maneuverability. And then look at the wheels to get all of those yards right there. Come on now. Great play by Taylor. He has a lot of potential here, man. Look at Chase Young. Chase Young loves it. Chase Young came and got him personally. Chase Young came to hype him up himself. That's the captain right there. Newest captain, most important captain probably. That's our Ray Lewis and Brian Dawkins on our team coming to congratulate the quarterback. He loves it. He loves the energy. He loves the fight. He has Chase Young hype on the sideline. Look at Chase Young come over to celebrate. Look at that. That's what you need, a quarterback that you can believe in and feel like you always have a chance of coming back or winning a game. That's what Taylor Heinicke is bringing to this team right now. Another play where I love his movement in the pocket, always on the move, staying away from pressure. He's making our offensive line look even better than they actually are. I still believe our offensive line is top 15, but with the quarterback this aware and this mobile, it makes our offensive line look even better. He's making everybody look like Pro Bowlers out there because nobody can get hands on them. And now again, I love the fact that he's progressing through reads, looking all throughout the field, finds out nothing's there, delivers the short pass right here to Logan Thomas. Again, they're spreading the defense out. J.D. McKissick is a receiver on the play and not even being able to necessarily step into this throw. Turn sideways, still delivers the ball accurately. It's a short throw, but still, I mean, our standards are pretty low this year with the quarterbacks we've been throwing out there. So being able to even deliver a throw this short without perfect mechanics because you're kind of on the run right to Logan Thomas's chest, that's still noteworthy and praiseworthy right there. And again, from this angle, so you can look at how many reads he's making, how he's progressing through his reads. He's looking this way, doesn't like what he sees, looks up, looks this way now, knows he has somebody underneath, doesn't like that, looking back this way, notices nothing's there, movement in the pocket, and throws it to his underneath. Shouts out to Scott Turner for giving him an underneath option just in case. Again, the defense is playing back, honestly. It's not full-blown prevent defense, but the defense is playing pretty far back and allowed this underneath route. But also, good job by Scott Turner to disguise Logan Thomas on this route. Logan Thomas is blocking at the beginning of this play. He does a good job of doing so. And I love the fact that Cornelius Lucas is looking for work. I mean, he's out here. This is a QB film session, but I got to point this out. He's looking to make sure while Logan Thomas is handling that no other defender, maybe a potential blitzer, is coming, because that would be Cornelius Lucas' responsibility. He notices that nobody else is coming, and he knows Logan Thomas is going to eventually go out for a route. So he needs to be ready to pick up this guy afterwards, and he does that. He goes and picks up this guy. Taylor Heinicke knows that what's going on around him, so he steps up, and Logan Thomas, great play design by Scott Turner, gets him open underneath, because at first, Logan Thomas is blocking, so the linebacker that's normally looking that way and responsible for that way is like, okay, there's nobody else here. I might as well go with this guy. And so Logan Thomas is wide open underneath. Great play design and play call by Scott Turner. Great execution by everybody on Logan Thomas, Cornelius Lucas, and especially Taylor Heinicke's part here. Great play right here. Not a lot of yards, but still a great play. A lot of potential on this play. And now Taylor Heinicke's last play of the game. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back, per usual. Nice little 5-step drop so he can be able to survey the field, progressing through his reads, movement in the pocket, directing people, and great thrown ball. Oh, that ball was so beautifully thrown, and good catch by J.D. McKissic. And I like that route too. Pass interference too. Pass interference, great catch by J.D. McKissic. Way to fight through that pass interference to make that catch. But even though it was a great catch, it was an even better throw. Again, slow it down. Taylor Heinicke progressing through his reads, doesn't like what he sees that way. Almost pumps fake, like, okay, let me move the defenders. Looks this way, and not too sure about it. Looks back this way. Pressure in my face, let me keep moving. Good job on Morgan Moses staying with it, not giving up. And then he looks this way, likes what he sees from J.D. McKissic, a running back, running a deep route near the sideline. Great thrown ball, perfect. With the pass interference, right to J.D. McKissic's hands, exactly where you want it. This is the best QB play we've gotten all season, period. Between Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, this is definitely the best QB play. This was the best singular quarter from any quarterback this season that we've thrown out there. But that's the end of this film session. Just wanted to review every play that Taylor Heinicke was out there for as far as throwing. Of course, not just run plays. Him just simply handing the ball off and all of that. So big shouts out to Taylor Heinicke for coming in and stepping up. He's making this QB room very interesting. Me, I'm still in the get Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, whoever. Trade up for him if you have to. And now I'm like, hey, do that same thing, but include Taylor Heinicke. I feel like Taylor Heinicke has definitely earned at least a spot to compete for the starting QB role next season. I feel like he's earned the opportunity to start against the Eagles for the division. This weekend coming up, the game was flexed to Sunday night if you didn't know, so this will be a Sunday night game. Everybody will be watching with the NFC East crown on the line. All you have to do is win and you make the playoffs. It doesn't matter what any other team does. If you win, you make the playoffs. There's other scenarios where if we lose to the Eagles and other teams lose, depending on what the Cowboys and Giants do, we still make the playoffs. But we're in the driver's seat. If the Burgundy and Gold beat the Eagles, then you go to the playoffs, point blank, period. But Taylor Heinicke has definitely looked like he has at the very least earned a spot on this roster going into next season. He deserves to be in the QB battle during training camp, and I'm rooting for him. I mean, y'all already know how I do with my people from Georgia. He's from Gwinnett, right outside of Atlanta. He went to Old Dominion, so he also has some DMV roots there too. So this is a guy that all of us should be behind. Me from Georgia, me from Atlanta, y'all from the DMV. We should all be supporting this guy. And just the come-up story. I mean, he's been on so many random teams. He's only truly gotten chances in preseason, hasn't made the most of it, and he came through this game and definitely made the most of it. Definitely the best singular quarter we've gotten from a quarterback all season, period. The accuracy, he's the first true deep threat we've had all season. He's been the most mobile quarterback we've had, using his legs. Arguably, maybe Kyle Allen will be close. They may almost be neck and neck. I may give the edge to Taylor Heinicke because he was smarter with his running. He wasn't taking the necessary hits like Kyle Allen. So technically, by definition, Taylor Heinicke has been the most mobile quarterback we've had. Again, he's been the best deep threat we've had. He's been very accurate, and this is all with minimal practice to prepare for this game. Now, granted, the Eagles will have a full week to game plan for him because their defensive game plan was everything to stop Dwayne Haskins. All of Dwayne Haskins' greatest weaknesses. They didn't game plan for Taylor Heinicke. So we'll see what Taylor Heinicke looks like against the Eagles once the Eagles finally have a full week to game plan for him. But at the same time, in Taylor Heinicke's favor, he didn't even have an entire week of practice. So he's going to only get better walking into this Eagles game. So we have to see how that turns out. If the Eagles' game plan and week of practice will catch up, or if Taylor Heinicke's finally having a week of practice with the ones, hopefully, if he's ready to step up. Now, I mean, Alex Smith is the starter unless he's not healthy enough to go. I feel like, why risk it? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to risk Alex Smith getting hurt even worse for even longer. I mean, you play him this week against the Eagles. You're putting his 2021 and possibly his entire career in jeopardy because everybody was acting like that injury he sustained against the 49ers was, man, he might have been healthy enough to return back in that game, but we've seen week by week that injury is way more serious than people want to admit it to be or even know it is. And now it's looking like this injury is a lingering injury. And again, one of those doctors on Twitter I saw explained it to where like a calf strain for anybody else would be normally just a day-to-day thing, but with Alex Smith, who already lost a lot of calf muscle due to his previous drastic injury, it's a different situation for him, and this may be something that lingers on for the rest of his career. He may never be the same, because the Alex Smith we got this year was like 80% as mobile as the Alex Smith we had in 2018 and the Alex Smith that played for the Chiefs. Now I think he'll only be 60% of that because of this injury. This injury made it even worse. He's probably going to be only less mobile, and with the way Taylor Heinicke was moving in his pocket, I don't think Alex Smith can do that, and I think we're putting Alex Smith in danger to throw him out there, especially against a better Eagles defensive line that is better than the Carolina defensive line. So in my opinion, I know a lot of y'all want to make the playoffs at all costs. I know y'all are willing to sacrifice your kids to make the playoffs this season. But at the end of the day, if Alex Smith is not healthy enough, you don't force it. And also, Taylor Heinicke may give us the best chance to win, honestly. He's a deep threat, and he's more mobile than Alex Smith and Haskins have been at any point this season, which opens up the offense. The run game is going to be better because there's a deep threat now, so safeties have to move back and can't stack the box. And then after the run game takes off, and maybe even Terry McLaurin returns against the Eagles, that allows you to take deep shots because now the team is just tired of getting ran on. I mean, it's just one thing helps the other. Is it the chicken or the egg or the chicken? Does the run game help the pass game more? Does the pass game help the run game more? And somebody like Taylor Heinicke, the way he's mobile and the way he's able to take deep shots, not only willing to, but actually does it with accuracy and confidence and great timing. They just play on each other and help each other out. Taylor Heinicke definitely brings the best offense out of this team right now. Again, we have to see if he can do it for a full 4 quarters, but nobody on this Washington football team has done it a full 4 quarters at all this season. Alex Smith hasn't done it for a full 4 quarters. Kyle Allen didn't do it for a full 4 quarters, and Dwayne Haskins definitely didn't do it for a full 4 quarters. So at this point, Taylor Heinicke has given me the best QB play I've seen this season, and just because he only did it for 1 quarter does not mean he's worse than Alex Smith, because at most we've seen Alex Smith do it for maybe 2-3 quarters in any given game. In the game we won against the Steelers, he only did it for 2 quarters and a drive, and I think Taylor Heinicke, the way he looked against the Panthers, he can give you 2 quarters and a drive, but with better QB play. And again, with a week of practice, with better chemistry, knowing the offense better, knowing the play call so Scott Turner can call even more elaborate plays, is only going to make them better. But man, that's the end of this video, man. Shouts out to y'all for viewing the video, man. Please like it if you liked it. If you learned anything, please subscribe if you haven't, and hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification every time I release more film sessions like these. I'm gonna be hitting y'all with film sessions all throughout the off season. Players on this team, players we may draft, so be ready for that. You will be getting a lot more film sessions like this. Make sure y'all already go check out my 2 Chase Young film sessions, my Terry McLaurin, my Antonio Gibson, and my Cameron Kerwin, which is the most recent one. Make sure y'all go check those out. And again, make sure you subscribe to be ready for more film sessions like these. I'm coming with them throughout the week. I'm coming with them for the rest of this regular season going into this next week. If we make it into the postseason, I'll be coming with more then. And I'm coming out with a lot more during the off season, especially now that I have a better system of doing it, so it's easier to do. Doesn't require as much time, so I'm definitely getting y'all more film sessions. And as always, man, I appreciate everybody that supports the channel, man. Shouts out to everybody that donates. Shouts out to all of my monthly channel members, my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose names you see scrolling on the screen right now. And as always, man, I really appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.